Mr. Fedman was not just rich. He lived in affluence, a sprawling estate, a golden courtyard, and a royal mansion that whispers of old money and timeless grandeur. His silver beard flows like river's mist, and his eyes, though aged, still sparkle with the sharpness of the mind that built empires beyond rich. Mr. Fedman is a man of taste. His favorite staff, Joe, is a genius in the kitchen, a man whose hands seem to dance with the spirit of flavors. Mr. Fredman's heart always beats with gratitude towards his chef Joe. He was not a man to play with his stomach. The relationship was not to last. However, one day, Mr. Fredman slumped and all fingers pointed to one person, his wicked wife, whom people did not just look at with suspicion, but whose greed was evident to all. Rumors had it that she wanted to have her husband's empire all to herself in order to enjoy it with her secret boyfriend, Mr. Frank. Joe was tossed out like a bag of garbage. With his little savings, he found an apartment. In the months that followed, his money depleted. With no job in sight, he went out on a busy railway station and tried to survive by asking passengers for alms as they waited for their trains. One day, as he was begging, he noticed a businessman stepping into the platform. His posture was not only confident, but his suit was well-tailored. Joe smiled and thought to himself, "Today is my lucky day. This man looks not only rich, but also kind. If I ask him for money, he will surely give me a generous amount." Joe approached the businessman and stretched out his hand, but instead of giving him money, the businessman looked at him closely. Joe smiled expectantly, expecting a beautiful donation, but instead of giving him money, the businessman asked, "Do you truly expect me to give something to you?" Joe nodded, still smiling. "What have you then given to me?" "Nothing." Joe replied. "Have you given anything to anyone since morning?" Joe was startled. He had never heard such a question before. Confused, he replied, "Sir, I'm just a beggar. I survive by asking for alms. I have nothing to give to anyone." The businessman smiled slightly and said, "If you believe you have nothing to give to anyone, then you have no right to ask anything from anyone. I am a businessman and I believe in exchange. If you can offer me something, then I'll give you something in return. But if you have nothing to offer me, then don't bother asking me for anything whenever you see me, because I won't have anything to give you either." Saying this, the businessman boarded his train and left. Joe stood there stunned. He kept replaying the businessman's words in his mind. "I have been begging for close to a year, but no one has ever said these words to me. It kind of makes sense. His words were not pleasant, but they are true," he thought. "I haven't given anything to anyone since 1 year. Why should anyone give anything to me?" Joe realized that perhaps that's why he had been broke ever since Mr. Fredman died. That night, in his tiny apartment, he laid awake and thought, "What can I give? Ever since Mr. Fredman died, I have nothing." The businessman's words kept echoing in his mind. "If you want to receive something, you must first offer something." 3 days passed. Joe was buried in his thoughts. What could he possibly offer, he thought. Then, early that morning, he got up in his apartment and took a shower. He took out his chef's uniform from his box and began to work out something. With his last coin, he had bought ingredients for sweet rolls. He made some simple sweet rolls, then placed it neatly in a small bowl and took it with him to the station. Determined, he walked gently to the station and went back to his usual spot. When someone handed him a coin, he smiled and offered them a sweet rolls. Surprisingly, people accepted the sweet rolls with joy. Some even smiled and gave him more money. As days passed by, something incredible happened. More people came to collect sweet rolls in exchange for money. "I have never tasted a sweet roll as tasty as yours," an elderly woman said. This became a pattern. One day, as he was handing sweet rolls in exchange for money, he sighted the businessman. He rushed over to where he was standing and handed him some sweet rolls. The businessman smiled, handed him some generous amount, and took some sweet rolls. "You're a smart man. You have truly understood the value of exchange." Joe gave him a knowing nod. A month later, Joe had saved enough money. He bought a phone and some utensils for his kitchen. Then one day, he browsed through his phone. He came across someone that looks like him. He read the article, and it was from the court. The court had been looking for him. Mr. Fredman had willed $100,000 to Mr. Joe. The next day, he rushed over to the court and was given the money. Mr. Joe decided to build a large burger place close to the train station. One day, the businessman was hungry and came into Mr. Joe's burger place. Mr. Joe quickly served him some burger and soft drink. But Mr. Joe was so transformed that the businessman could not recognize him. Mr. Joe then went over to him and asked, "Do you need anything more?" But the businessman leaned forward and asked, "Have we met before?" Mr. Joe replied, "Yes, we have met twice before right here on this very train station." The businessman's eyes widened as he tried to remember him. "Wait, you used to beg here in front of the station and you later sold me some sweet rolls." Mr. Joe laughed and said, "A lot of people gave me money, but you gave me something more, insight." "Bless God for the day I met you," Mr. Joe said. "That day was the day I realized I was never a beggar. I was a businessman all along. I just had to see myself that way. Life is shaped by how we see ourselves. If you believe you are a beggar, then you will remain a beggar. The difference between the small man and the great men is recognition. The great man recognized their inner potential, just like this beggar did after meeting the businessman. You're strong. You're capable. You're successful. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. If you like this video, give a thumbs up. Like, share, and subscribe.